the Irish Hills of Michigan on a beautiful race weekend here at the Michigan International Speedway. NASCAR on TNT, 35 laps in to this 400-mile race at Michigan. Jimmie Johnson is the race leader. A couple of guys that started in the top 10. John Andretti has dropped to 26th from 10th, and A.J. Allmendinger from 6th to 19th. Here are some Coors Light cold hard facts. Only one driver has scored his first career win at Michigan. That was Dale Jarrett in August of 1991. And that was a fantastic race and an unbelievable finish. Who did Jarrett pass on the last lap? Really at the basically coming out of 4 was Davey Allison. And who was Davey Allison's crew chief that day? Well, by gosh, it was Larry McReynolds. And I'm sure he's thrilled that we brought that up. Those are our Coors Light cold hard facts. We're closing in on pit stops. They're really not too far away. We're going to try and get a top 10 through the field here. We see some cars coming down pit road as we speak. But let's start with Jimmie Johnson and go through the field. Lindsay.
Bill, Jimmie Johnson and crew chief Chad Knaus planning on their first pit stop in about 4 laps from now. Jimmie just told Chad the exits are very consistent, but right now the center's just getting a little bit snug. Not tight, just snug. Bill?
They may come in early, Bill.
Yeah, they are. Robbie Gordon's been on pit road. Menard, Labonte, Matt.
Bill, significant chassis adjustment already completed for the 9. The Budweiser car of Casey Kane. His car way too free. Lindsay.
Matt, the 17 coming on in. Matt Kenseth had just said the car a little bit loose in the turns, also loose on the throttle. You see him making his way down pit road. They plan on making a track bar adjustment for Matt Kenseth, also air pressure. So far, so good, Matt.
And the 16 of Greg Biffle making his way down to his pit box to Greg Irwin and the guys. Biffle said his biggest complaint, lack of grip, especially in the back of the car. It's really tight. He tried changing his lines up. They were talking about a wedge adjustment. You can see that's already completed. Around to work on the left side. Air pressure change as well for the Biff. Let's go further up pit road to Marty.
Well, Matt, Carl Edwards very cognizant of the pit road speed. 4,700 in second gear. Got a few speeding penalties last night in the Nationwide Series race in Kentucky. He said he just absolutely has no grip out there. They make a wedge adjustment trying to get this car a little bit better for Edwards, who wants to run the top if he can, Ralph.
Waiting for the 2 of Kurt Busch to make his way down pit lane. He was struggling to get this car to turn early on. Then all of a sudden, she just woke up on him. And he went right to the front like a rocket ship. Was one of the fastest cars out there. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment to this car. And that's about it, Marty. They're very happy with the 2.
Kyle Busch lost second place at the very end of that run right there. He's a little bit loose in the middle of 3 and 4 and tight off of 3 and 4. Track bar adjustment, also an air pressure adjustment for Kyle Busch, Matt.
And Tony Stewart's team has already serviced his Chevrolet. Air pressure change for Stewart. In the back of the car, just needed more forward bite.
Thanks, Matt. We have been green since we started this race. 40 laps are complete, cycling through green flag pit stops right now. Jimmie Johnson is the race leader. Johnson, Vickers. Well, Vickers on pit road now. Jimmie has yet to stop. Vickers all the way down toward pit exit, Marty.
And Bill just filed it away, obviously getting very good fuel mileage for Ryan Vickers. Ryan Pimda told me this morning that would be the case for this team. Extremely loose. He said when he gets to the gas, back end wants to spin out, down 1 round on the track bar. Also an air pressure adjustment, Lindsay.
And Jimmie Johnson is in his pit stall. The guys have gone around to the car. They're going to give him 4 tires and fuel. Jimmie also saying he has now lost overall grip, Marty.
Jeff Gordon in here has gained a ton of spots since the beginning of this race, already leaving pit road. This is where they think they can gain a lot of time today. Gordon tight in 3, loose off 4. So they made an air pressure and a wedge adjustment trying to fix him up.
As we talked about, Gordon had gained 24 positions under green since we started. Jimmie Johnson comes off of pit road. He will resume his position as the race leader. He has led 33 laps. Kyle Busch has led 8. 41 laps are complete. We look at Casey Kane. Runs in the 2nd spot. There's Jimmie. So he's out front. He'll come around, run through the scoring loop, see what his lead is over Casey Kane. It's Johnson, Kane, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, and Greg Biffle still under green here at Michigan. Working lap 46 of 200 at Michigan International Speedway for the Sprint Cup Series. Jimmy Johnson is the race leader. We've cycled through green flag stops. Jimmy never lost his lead. His lead was 6.8 seconds before the pit stop started. Now it's 4.5 seconds over Casey Kane. NASCAR fans, let's look at this week's standings for the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award. Fans, don't forget to cast your vote for the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year. You can do it from your AT&T phone. Text in the car number for the pit crew you think is the fastest and most valuable in each race to 2258. The AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award delivered by AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. Kyle Busch looking forward at Greg Biffle.
You know, this is interesting. We heard Kyle Busch talk earlier about having a vibration between 8 and 9, but he's really maintained. He's not lost anything. You know, the 48 car passed him early in the race, and these cars passed him until the 16 car just passed him there on the racetrack. The only other car that's really passed him on the racetrack has been the 2 cars, so he really didn't lose anything from the vibration. So it's interesting to see, wonder how this plays out, or if they've got a handle on it, or after the pit stops, if that vibration went away.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, to see if maybe it was a wheel, and it threw a weight or something like that, you know, in the first few laps.
Now, another thing we were watching was that Casey Kane picked up some time on the track because he pitted earlier and had the fresher tires. He's now 5.2 seconds behind Johnson. Then it's Biffle, then Kyle Busch in 4th, down to Martin.
Yeah, guys, he hasn't really mentioned that vibration, talking about Kyle Busch, since the one time he mentioned it early on. Chassis-wise, felt like the car was pretty good. Again, they felt like they gave up too much towards the end of the run. Tell you what, a lot of crew chiefs looking to the skies right now because it's starting to cloud up, and that certainly will affect the racetrack a little bit as well. Well,
And especially since, Marty, I mean, there's a lot of cars right now that are talking about no grip and no side bite. And if that sun comes out, that ain't going to help the grip at all.
Yeah, and no side bite is a funny term that you only hear race car drivers use. What is side bite? You know, you're sitting at a stoplight and you leave and you go forward. You feel your car move forward. That's bite. That's when they say they have no grip. That would be like you just get in the gas and spin the rear tires. That's no grip, and that's what these guys feel as they leave coming up out of the corner. They feel that little, as the rear of the car squats and they move forward.
It'd be like if you turned right at that light and just spun out.
And you spun out. That's no side bite. Right. Because when you turn and the car rolls that way, that's side bite. You want a little bit of a cushion on that right rear. And some of these guys are saying, I've got no forward grip, but I've got no side bite either, which really scares them getting in the corner.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you get in the corner, you carry so much speed here at this racetrack. You go diving down in the corner, and the car, here's where that side bite's holding you in the racetrack, right here. The car's gripping right here, and that's where you want the side bite. See the 9 car? See how that thing is floating through the corner, and the rear of the car is kind of dancing around? He doesn't have a whole lot of side bite.
Yeah, that's not, he's losing side bite and forward bite all at the same time, and this is where he gives it up. See how he goes in the corner, and he's up at the top. He's afraid to get off in that corner because he knows he's got nothing to lean on over there.
Biffle to 2nd place around Casey Kane. Matt on Casey Kane.
And Bill, he's been running the Richard Petty line right up by the wall much of this event. Now his biggest issue, we touched on it, lack of grip. They made an air pressure change on the last stop to try to help that. And Casey says that it did help on the beginning of the run, the front side of the run. His car much better, but it'll be a work in progress. The next stop already looking ahead. What change they'll make next to get this car better and better.
And you almost, Matt, you almost have to be 2 steps ahead, because if your car doesn't have it now and that sun comes out, you need to make sure that you make a big enough adjustment on that car to make up for when this track gets hot.
I just want to point out, on June 14th, 1998, this race went 118 laps before the first caution flag came out. And they have had a caution. What year? 1998. Here's David Rudiman.
Say, I remember that.
He runs in the 14th position, and he was talking to his crew about how his car is handling.
Evil loose on entry 2. Evil loose. I can't run the top. Jumping out on me, getting in. Stuck to the center. Quick as I go to the gas and try to get off with it. Just loose. No side bite at all. Neutral. We'll just work on the back, trying to make the back better. Yeah, you got to do something to get it back in the racetrack big time, bud. I mean, it's hung out at a 45-degree angle all the way to the center of the corner as it is right now.